The history, part 2. I should be happy to get this sweet deal uncontested. My heart mourns though. I still love what used to be. Picked the kiddos up. Hammered out the last couple of obstacles her lawyer objected to. She gave me what I wanted. Looks like it's all over but the signing. I am one lucky dude to keep my kids and house. Still sad but relieved that this isn't going to get nasty. The kids live with me. They visit mommy every other weekend and on wed 3 to 7. Here is a picture of my adorable 6-year-old son that my idiot wife is giving up. Sometimes prayers are answered. Made the 7 and 8-year-old all-star team as a 6-year-old. Different day, same old vent post. 6:30 a.m. text. X, I have to work this weekend. Me, please tell the children on Wednesday. I will keep them for you this weekend. I have plans already made with the children for the next weekend. The last sentence isn't true, but screw her. This again is about wanting her weekends to be kid-free. Now she will be the victim of me keeping her away from her kids. She has her ducking work schedule like a month in advance. She could have kept them this weekend. She thinks I am here to serve her. Those days are over. I got fired as husband. I just got the finalized divorce settlement emailed from my lawyer to her lawyer and me. Should I be a nice old chap and forward it to her? Tell her it's signing time. No need to even contact her. That's her lawyer's job. Wife just checked my dating profile out. That bothers me for some reason. That means she is on there looking. Here's the kicker. In her profile, honesty and integrity are important to her. What the hell? Are you kidding me? I almost sent her a message but decided not to. Got my heart racing. So sad. She also said that her 2 children were her world. Really? Where are you? I can't believe it. Seeing her grovel and me telling her no would make me happy. Is that too much to ask for? Her children are her world makes my blood pressure boil. She means her children are her world for 4 hours on Wednesday and every other weekend. If she doesn't have better things to do. Text message from X. X, I have Friday off. I will get them Friday and bring them to you Saturday morning. Also, would you mind dropping D at my house Thursday and Friday? I work until 5 on wed and will get them after work. Thanks, since I am clearly too codependent to make a rational decision. I need your help. My gut says to just say okay and run with it cause the papers are ready and I guess are just days away from being signed. Don't rock the boat until she signs the line which is dotted. However, I feel like I am still catering to her whims. I want my kids to see their mom. They love her and she loves them, as good as she knows how. I need some boundaries for the kids' sake. When she left, she said I have to know if it's real. Her excuse, we just drifted apart. Classic revisionism. No regret. After the holidays, she was lonely and tried to but I just think she was crying because she was lonely. No true remorse. I was hoping to have a wife that would fight to save her marriage rather than get on dating websites. Emotionally I had not detached, but logically I knew I had to let her go. I still have not detached. I am slowly getting stronger. Each day I see her for what she is, a liar and a cheater. I did employ the 180 to help detach. It just doesn't happen overnight. However, she has shown very little interest in I just need to get a divorce. Move on and get over it. Easier said than done. Takes time. The papers are not signed. I don't know why she did what she did. She asked me last night how I was doing. I said fine. Part of me still thinks she needs OM2 so she can feel the high again. I don't even know if I want her back. I did act extremely needy when she attempted the the do you love me texts. My biggest regret was sleeping with her so easily. Should have made her jump through some hoops first. Would have kept my emotions in check and also seen if it was true remorse or not. I think I am past the 180 stuff. If she wants to talk, I talk. I don't open up like I used to. Cool, calm, dispassionate. That's my motto. Hurts a little but it is so infrequent, no need to be a jerk. I have detached enough to where I can communicate with her. My pride may be hindering a reconnection. Is it foolish pride or is it being fair to myself? Why do I have to wine and dine a woman who went outside the marriage? Do I not deserve better? Why do I have to do the heavy lifting? The marriage was finished when she gave herself before God to another man. Do I still have an emotional bond that I can't seem to shake? Yes, I dedicated 13 years to her and she gave 2 beautiful children. Did I hire a babysitter as much as I should have? Probably not. Why is the burden on me? I was already toting my load of rocks and half of hers. Time for me to let her tote her own rocks. She cheated. If she doesn't want a D then she should let me know that. I am nothing but cordial and friendly to her. Even told her how proud I was of her for being clean 1 year. Now I really just look and watch her actions. I am cordial and friendly and go out of my way for her when the children are involved. Her actions, flaking on visitation, no reaching out to me at all, out even when I compliment. Online dating profile. Show me that she just isn't willing to do the hard work necessary or that she is even interested in reconciling at all. I almost think the opiates have made her a little bipolar. I am at a loss as to what I can do. I don't think asking her on a date is the answer. I did this once and got hurt again during the I do admit that she and I are both stubborn as mules. My codependency for her is as strong as ever and I am sure you can feel my pain through my words. However, how much punishment can I take? Why can't she try? The online dating profile really hurts. Tells me she doesn't want to try. Tells me she is still searching for that high. feeling a little angry that the ex was not at work yesterday. I almost want to say something. Feel like disabling the texting function on her phone. She is still carrying my health insurance, so probably don't need to get petty. I never got a chance to ever even get mad at her. So afraid of doing anything that would hurt my custody case. Now I am dealing with anxiety issues from all of this. Terrible feeling when your wife tells you she's going to Om's hotel for the weekend and there is nothing you can do to stop it. Big update. Around lunch today I get a phone call. It's the wife. Come to counselor's office please, it is really important. I found out why she wasn't at work this weekend. She has been terminated as a pharmacist and her license pulled. I am going to enter her into rehab tomorrow. We will tell the kids tonight that mommy is sick and needs to go to the treatment center to get better. So sad. She will miss both kids' birthdays. I know I don't owe her anything, but I need to help her for the children's sake. I could not live with myself if I just abandoned her. I'll miss the $17 a month in child support and the nice health insurance. Wife came over last night after baseball practice. I fixed dinner for her and the kids. She gave the children baths and helped the oldest with his homework. Before they went to bed, we told them that mommy was sick and will be going to a hospital to live for a while. That I would be picking them up from school on Wednesdays now. I told them we could go see mommy when the doctors allow it. Getting financials in order this morning. I am about to go and get her. She has to be there at noon today. I get to her place and she just got out of the shower, all vulnerable. All I could do to fight my primal instinct. Went and got breakfast lol. Well, we are here. Place looks like camp. Spending time with her brings back old feelings. She has been quiet for most of the trip, so I left it at that. I really had to fight urges to reach out to her. I wanted to grab and hold her hand, but I didn't. I think I did good, but it sure doesn't feel like I did good. A little counterintuitive. The admissions coordinator said insurance will not cover the inpatient therapy. We are talking $39,000. Wow, just wow. Of course, my wife is clueless in these situations, so I had to take charge. So now I am scrambling to figure out a way to get the money for her. She has it, but I have to get to it. Sell stock or retirement or whatever. Maintain all her bills while she is gone. I am in a lot of pain today. My desire to just reach out and comfort and hold her was all I could handle yesterday. I didn't do it, but I am feeling the emotional pain of not doing it. How do I handle care packages and visits? She needs to see her kids. She needs support, but how much from me? Letters from the kids. Letters from me. What do I do? How do I support but not smother? At the beach with a good friend this weekend. Stayed out way too late and lost my phone. Wife calls from rehab and we talk for 10 minutes. Asks me to send her a coat. At the end I get an unsolicited, "I love you." I did not say it back. Well, the wife has been calling every night to talk to the kids and me. I guess limbo is where I am going to stay for a while. I for some dumb reason believe that she still loves me, although she only let it slip once. 50,000 feet is where I am going to hover for a good while. Just watch what she does. Hopefully, she will let me know. I think the frequent phone calls and "so good to talk to you" messages say a lot. And just think, divorce papers were finalized and ready to sign this week. Isn't life funny? Just not quite ready to give up on her yet. I have definitely got a wait and see attitude. She pretty much asked me if there was any way when she gets out to fix this. I told her that no doors are ever closed, but that she needs to embrace the program and focus on herself and getting better. She need not worry about me or the kids. We will be there to support her through the program. Well, no visit this weekend. Rehab will not let her. Not been there quite long enough. The "I love yous" have slipped the last couple of phone calls from her. I just act like I don't hear them. Rehab had to have $6,000 yesterday. I ended up putting it on my credit card interest-free until April next year. Maybe I could borrow, sell stocks, and empty savings in order to avoid her imploding her retirement account. Financially a better option for us. Keyword is for us. Is this the fixer and me risking everything to come to the rescue? If I borrow money, she could really screw me over. She is in over her head. She is in treatment. This is not her cup of tea. I know what to do, just needed some reassurance. I cannot enable her. I can't save her. I can't fix her problems. I cannot leave myself so vulnerable. No phone call last night. Why does this bother me? I talked to her twice yesterday. Am I getting sucked back in emotionally? I need some emotional armor to protect me. Visit is done. Mostly playing with the kids. Did not get too heavy. She did get a little emotional. Told me she was messed up in the head. She is good with the kids. That's why I never interfered with her seeing them despite her problems. I am torn emotionally. Part of me just wants to walk away. I worry that I will be one of those people who loses a little inside every day trying to then 5 years later just snap. I am going to take this real slow. There will be no officer and a gentleman moment leaving rehab. This isn't moving to the RN anytime soon either. I need to figure out what I want. Feeling a little blue this morning. I kind of feel like my wife has imploded and has nowhere to turn but to me. The garden gnome has moved on to another lawn. I don't want to be anyone's last option. I just remember those emails and texts, like a couple of high school kids. It turns my stomach. I don't know up from down anymore. I know I've got game, as I have already convinced one of my son's friends' 27-year-old mom into a FWB situation. However, I quit pursuing it. I couldn't do it. Couldn't deal with it. I just duck and can't do it. Can't handle all the damn texting these kids do. What are you doing? Cleaning the house. Undoing dishes. Jesus, I can't take it. I think all this holding out for my wife is some sort of character flaw in me. I just had I don't want to be a doormat moment this morning. 50,000 feet and soaring. 2 more months to be patient and watch. I just have doubts. I definitely have some large trust obstacles to overcome. I cannot escape them. She has not had a drop to her hands and knees moment. I fear I will get crap on again. I believe she would take the garden gnome over me if she could. My mind just constantly thinks she is calling other dudes while she is in rehab. I wouldn't wish this stuff on anybody. How do I get rid of this anxiety robbing me of my energy? I used to be so full of life and energy. I lifted 3 days a week, played ball 3 days a week. No more time. Kids and work now are all consuming. All is done as 2-hour lunches are not feasible anymore. I need to start lifting. Again, all that anxiety for not calling was unwarranted. Power out at facility and no phones. See the problem with codependency? Well, my business just landed a 7-story hotel in Birmingham. We have really taken off since the start of the new year. I know it's a blessing and a long time coming, but it will definitely be stressful on top of the personal life drama and single parenthood and the new one money problems. Job will help with the money problems long term. Wife will get an 8-hour pass with us tomorrow. Think we will take the kids to the zoo or the science center. A letter my STBX wrote to me. I am writing you this letter to try and tell you how I feel. I know I am not the best at expressing myself, so I am hoping I can better express myself in a letter. First of all, I want to tell you how truly sorry I am for hurting you. I know right now these are just empty words, but I hope with time I can show you through my actions how remorseful I am. My addiction has caused me to act in ways that go completely against all of my morals and values. I have lied, cheated, and stole. I am by no means making any excuses for my actions. I am just trying to let you into my sick mind. I have been sick for a long time, and felt I completely lost my way for a long time. I want to make amends to you and our children. The word amend means to change, and I am working very hard to do just that. I can feel some changes within start to take place, and I hope at the end of this journey I can be a person that you, myself, and the children can be proud of. Now that I am in a safe place, I can finally see just how destructive the path I was on. I was doing anything to not feel what I was feeling. I am working hard every day to dig deep into my issues that led to my addiction. I have an excellent counselor who is holding my feet to the fire and forcing me to look at things that are very uncomfortable for me. I hate it at the moment, but I know it is a catalyst for change. That's what I want more than anything, is to change. I have truly loved talking with you every day and reconnecting with you. I miss that feeling terribly. Right now, I know what I want to happen after this, but I'm trying desperately not to manipulate or control you. I am also trying not to make any major decisions while my brain is still healing. I also know 50% of that decision depends on you and what you want. I have a lot of issues to work through, but we also have a lot of issues to work on together. Just like you feel I don't open up to you, I feel the same about you. I need some verbal affirmations from you too. There were a lot of times I felt I was walking on eggshells around you. I never felt I measured up to your high expectations. I felt our marriage became a type of business agreement. I kept having horrible visions of sending D3 off to college and us shaking hands and saying, "Well, it was a pleasure doing business with you. See you around." That killed me inside. I asked you repeatedly to get a babysitter so we could go out, and your response was always, "I don't want to pay the money for someone else to watch our kids. That's our job." That really made me shut down and feel unimportant. When I approached you about counseling, you said why. I never did anything wrong. I felt so defeated after that. Like why I should even try. I'm not telling you these things to hurt your feelings or deflect attention from my actions to yours. I'm telling you these because I want things to change. I want our relationship to be closer and stronger than it ever has been. Whatever form that relationship decides to take, I know if we both work hard, we will be so much happier and connected. I think we owe this to ourselves and our children to leave no stone unturned. I'm willing. Are you? What I wanted to write back, although I didn't send it to her. Do you think maybe the walking on eggshells and the distance had anything to do with the meds? I do. We were happy before. Do you think lying every day to your husband didn't create a little distance between us? You were stoned for a couple of years. Of course we lost our connection, and no, you were not living up to my expectations. And the MC was suggested after my heart was ripped out again with a false R. Turns out you were getting high then too. She has to tell herself something so she can look in a mirror. I don't think writing a letter with a list of demands for R is the way to go right now. I will just tell her that I appreciate the letter and that I believe in her and want her to focus all of her energy into getting better. I was not perfect. To this day I wish I had more time with my kids. However, she checked out on me way before we started having problems. I did stop romancing her. A toddler and a baby are demanding. I stopped spending time with her. She was checked out emotionally. The meds were truly the OM. I started working out and playing basketball every day to fill the void. Spent 2 hours at rehab with the wife and kids. Drama-free week and weekend again. The 48-hour pass starts on Friday. I am definitely interested in what she has got planned in her head. I am just going with the flow. The wife still calls every day and says the right things. I don't know what the future holds. I just know I will never be able to love her like I used to. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe we are only supposed to love our kids that much, or maybe not. Lots of parents enable their children because they love them so much. If I do reconcile, I bet I'll be hiding money in jars in the backyard. I don't believe my wife is as selfish and self-centered as some out there. I do believe the meds made her that way. Here's the million-dollar question. Can she stay clean? She calls every day to chit-chat and tells me she loves me and blah blah. I get sick at my stomach when I say it back. I am still angry and have trust issues. I deserve better than her, but being realistic, the chances of finding a woman my age or younger that wants small kids makes 6 figures extremely high on the rank meter are slim at best, and my kids love her to death. My cousin said she had me a date and I told her great, but she has to be an improvement looks-wise over the wife. She laughed and said good luck with that. I still have some anger concerning the garden gnome also. Never really got a chance to pee on his parade. I don't think I can get through life with him getting off scot-free. I would really like to choke the life out of him, but my children are too important for me to do that. Thinking about Cheater Vile and such. Should I make my wife put him on there when she gets out? I know he has a criminal record and is an ex-med addict preying on other med addicts in an online recovery forum. What a weak piece of crap. Had a breakthrough with the fair-skinned ginger I see of mine. She says to never defend myself when the wife is trying to express her feelings. As the son of alcoholic, my entire childhood involved defending myself to my dad. Good point. When wife asked for MC, should not have defended me. When she expressed her feelings in the letter, should not have defended me. Good points. Earned her money for real today instead of just sitting there looking all pretty. Months later, their mother is coming home from rehab. Things are about to get weird. A week later, life is good, I think. I love living like a parole officer or warden. I guess it beats listening to Spank the Monkey by myself. She's off putting her counselor's kids through college. There's going to be a boom in the local economy with all the money we've dropped on counseling. 2 weeks later, wife was pulled over for speeding last night and carted off to behind bars. Had to bail her out. More consequences. This whole mess is now a financial hit. 2400 to bail her out. Have to get a lawyer, again. I hope she can cope. Now the felony theft charges, that's a whole new ball of wax. She seems to be handling it just okay. Some anxiety and tears, said she felt ashamed. I asked her if she was the same person she was 4 months ago. She said no. I told her then worry about tomorrow and leave the past behind her. Went to MC today. She makes us sit in chairs facing one another. Then we have to start talking about our feelings. Then when I say something, the wife has to mirror it back. New age kind of stuff. It makes me feel like a little girl. It is like pulling teeth to get me to talk in there. My wife has gone to an AA meeting. I made her leave her phone with me. OP's wife responds. OP and I are on our way back from a beach trip and the traffic is horrendous. Besides, my days of internet chat rooms are over. To answer some of your questions, unfortunately there is nothing I can do to reassure anyone of my true intentions. And I accept that my actions are the cause. However, I do have a secondary retirement account I could use if OP was not interested in reconciliation. But we both decided that me being a stay-at-home mom right now was the best decision for our family and my recovery. To sum up my childhood in 2 words, it would be sadistic chaos. I have been caring for my 3 younger brothers since I was 8 years old. My final diagnoses and treatment were PTSD and dissociative amnesia. To be quite honest, I don't remember large parts of my childhood, but my oldest brother does. And what I do remember is really bad. I actually think the amnesia now is a blessing in disguise, because I was able to keep it together until I was 30. I spent my entire childhood living in fear and internalizing all of my parents' chaos as my fault. I thought if I could be perfect, the chaos and abuse would stop. I felt everything was my fault and that I could not depend on anyone. Besides, who was going to believe a kid over a doctor? I actually ended up running away at 16 and my parents ended up actually losing custody of me at 17. Why not my brothers, you ask? I have no idea, and the guilt of leaving them still haunts me to this day. I had no idea of how to be a part of a healthy relationship and felt very undeserving of one anyways. Along comes along OP and I was like one of those crazy foster kids that self-destructs when they finally get placed with a happy family. I spent my entire life wearing this mask of perfection because inside I was always waiting for the other shoe to drop. I did, however, feel I put on a good show for OP for 10 years, but I never felt I could let him know what was going on inside of me for fear he would reject me. I never even told him how crazy my family was for the same reason. Fast forward until our daughter was born. I was working 12-hour shifts on my feet, breastfeeding a baby all night long, caring for a 3-year-old, and trying to do all the domestic chores, all in my pathetic attempt to appear perfect. One day I just snapped and picked up what was in my face all day long. I felt I had found my secret weapon to keep everything going, and thus begun my downward spiral. I tried to stop on my own and went through 5 days of excruciating withdrawals before I finally cracked. I was never angry with OP for not knowing. I was terrified he was going to leave me after finding out I was an addict. I desperately needed inpatient treatment but was terrified to self-report to the board. I completely underestimated just how sick I was, and so did OP like me. OP was scared of people finding out I was an addict because we live in a small town. He didn't want me going to meetings, getting a sponsor, going to treatment, etc. So, I turned to an internet chat room to try to get better on my own. This is where I met GG. I absolutely hated myself and felt I was married to someone who didn't understand me or support my recovery. In a word, I was insane. He flooded me with compliments and could speak all of the recovery talk really well. In my sick, depressed mind, I really thought this man would keep me clean. Nuts, I know. The irony is I actually ended up relapsing over the guilt and shame of what I was doing to OP and my children. I became addicted to the compliments, but eventually I saw him for what he was and dumped him. However, I was left with a void, and one night I saw OP's profile on a dating website and became very jealous and started one of my own, hoping he would see it. However, it backfired and I was overwhelmed by all of the attention. I was only on the site for 1 week and went on 2 lame dates. I couldn't keep up the dating and the meds, so I chose meds. I don't expect this to make sense to anyone else. The turning point came for me when the man I was on the verge of divorce from actually loved me enough to drive me to treatment and take care of all of my affairs while I was there, for the sole reason of seeing the mother of his children get healthy. He even took out a loan to help pay for treatment and brought the children to see me at every possible opportunity. So, to answer your question, when I told him I loved him, I meant it with all my heart. I have never felt more loved and accepted in my entire life, and I know I don't deserve it. Yes, I too have an addictive personality, but I am trying to use it now towards my recovery, husband, and children. I don't expect any of this to make sense, because it really doesn't make sense to me, but it is the truth. I make extremely poor decisions. I carry a lot of guilt and shame for those decisions and in no way wish to minimize their impact. But the fact is that for 10 years OP and I had an extremely happy marriage, which is probably why the impact of my actions is so hurtful to him. But for me, and hopefully others, there is hope there. Because without meds and alcohol involved, I make really good decisions. I did convince OP to marry me after all. First of all, I want to say D-Day was the absolute rock bottom moment of my life. When I was sitting in jail, one of the officers was trying to encourage me and kept saying, "Let this be your rock bottom moment so you can rebuild and move on from here." I told him my rock bottom moment is 100 times worse than this. I could go to prison for the rest of my life and D-Day would still be my rock bottom moment. That being said, yes, OP does know what happened that day I left. At that moment in time, I was floundering so hard. I was trying to change everything externally about myself in an insane attempt to stay clean, when what really needed to change was an internal change. To be honest, in that moment I didn't have any internal dialogue whatsoever. I reacted completely on impulse and pushed everything out of my mind. When I finally did allow myself to think about what I had done, I was so overcome with guilt and shame of what I had done to OP and my children I relapsed over it. I don't feel I am trying to rationalize anything. I accept full responsibility for my actions. But for me, I am trying to understand what led to these awful behaviors so I'm not doomed to repeat them. When you know better, you do better. As far as trust goes, I don't expect OP to trust me right now, or anyone else for that matter. When it comes to meds or other men, since I have been home, I have been a complete open book. OP can check up on me whenever he wants and has, and I don't care. I have no male contact with any males whatsoever besides my brothers. I have switched from not to AA because in my area they seem to have a stronger, healthier group in my opinion. The men and women do not socialize whatsoever and do not even sit together during the meetings. In treatment, there were very strict rules about fraternization that people broke all the time and were written up. I never broke one of those rules and had no desire to do so. I know rebuilding trust with OP is a slow process, but I am up to the task. As far as meds go, here comes the recovery talk. I know I have a disease and that I am only given a daily reprieve contingent on my continuing spiritual progress. I truly believe this is a one-day-at-a-time program. I know what I had to do to keep myself clean and sober yesterday and the day before, and I plan on doing the same things tomorrow and the next day and the day after that. I have a lot of accountability measures in place as far as meds go and am very grateful for them. I must submit to random screening for the next 5 years. I must also attend IC and MC and attend mandatory AA meetings for the next 5 years. I have a wonderful sponsor that I call daily and we are actively working the steps together. I plan to include service work in the future as well. I know that what I feel for OP is love because love is a commitment, not a feeling, and I am 100% committed to OP and my family. And in time I think my actions will prove that. OP's actions already have. The point I was trying to make is that the details are fuzzy to me, not that I am trying to not accept responsibility for my actions. I apologize for seeming insincere. I will definitely keep this in mind. I waited until the kids went to bed to discuss things and a big fight ensued. The reason I didn't want to discuss things earlier was because I didn't have the time to devote to it right then, and I didn't want to discuss things in front of our daughter. There have to be some boundaries here in my opinion. Both the ICs and the MIC are saying not to discuss things over and over and not to discuss intimate details. I have answered everything many times over. I admit I don't have all the answers here. I'm far from perfect and learning as I go. This is hard. I don't always say and do the right things, but I am trying. I'm worried OP is engaging in some unhealthy behaviors. I think the Cheaterville thing is just inviting chaos into our lives. Yes, I realize I set that ball in motion, but why keep it going? I think looking up the man on Facebook is unhealthy. What good can come out of it? I'm not protecting the other man. How can we move forward with the constant chaos? I also think OP has been hanging with some of the Misery Loves Company crowd and it is bringing him down. I'm not referring to everyone on TAM, but we have all seen the small percentage here content to wallow in their own misery. I'm not trying to point the finger at him. I'm just concerned. I do want to help him recover. I have tried to do that. I watch the girl while he coaches football. I go to Mick and try really hard to be an active participant. I will gladly watch the kids if he ever decides to attend another meeting. It's all very confusing. I'll be honest, I don't know what to do, but I am trying. I will let the Cheaterville thing go. I still don't think it's the healthiest thing in the world to do, but there are far worse things that could happen. I don't have to be right about this one. If it helps him, then great. I just wanted to express to him that maybe he should protect himself from triggers a little more. I guess it came out like get over it. I understand that many can't be avoided, but to maybe look at some of the ones that can. Like for me, I think going to a bar might be a trigger for me to drink. So I don't go. Yes, there are alcohol advertisements everywhere, but I still try to avoid what I can. The problem that has plagued our entire marriage is we have never learned to successfully resolve conflict. Problems are either swept under the rug and ignored, or we fight and hurt each other's feelings. When a problem occurs, he appears to me to be very angry and defensive, and I shut down and try to escape, either by physically removing myself from the situation or escaping with meds. In the past, this of course feels very cold to OP, so I have been trying to force myself to hang in and fight because I desperately want to change this pattern of my behavior. However, it feels to me things just escalate and I am being handed a lot of low blows. Comparisons to my mother, threats of divorce, etc. I don't know what to do anymore. I just feel lost and horribly inadequate. Half a year later, OP updates. Here's an update for the few who are still here and remember me. The wife and I are still reconciling and in marriage counseling. Everything is going well, like more good days than bad. The wife is really working hard to conquer her addiction. Meetings, I see, etc. Money is tight right now as we purchased our home based on 2 incomes and we still have a large student loan payment. I am lucky to have had a good year at work to alleviate some of the financial burden. I do worry about the wife going back to work. I really enjoyed coaching and watching my son's football team win the championship. Baseball signups are this weekend and I hope I haven't been blackballed for my tirade last year. A month later, congrats to wife for 1 year clean and sober today. In honor of this momentous occasion, I am going to quit drinking Diet Coke. Again, my comment, how did you like the ending? Or you just wish he walked away? Comment down below, sub and bell, and stay safe in your relationships.